in Shanidar Cave, in Iraqi Kurdistan, in a layer dated to roughly 46,000 years ago, a Neanderthal's last cooked meal is still stuck in its teeth, and we can name it. That one sentence is the whole promise. 10 prehistoric meals, read straight out of fossilized dental plaque. Entry 1 is Shanidar itself. In the calcified tartar on those worn molars, researchers found cooked starch grains from wild grasses and pulses. Not raw. Heated, soaked, changed before it was eaten. This is how the whole list works. Plant residues get locked into hardened plaque, and the physical crumb comes first, the meaning second. A crumb of a last meal trapped in a tooth, dated. What Amanda Henry and colleagues recovered told us plainly. These people cooked plants, and they ate them on purpose. And if the actual evidence is what you came for, not the myth version, you're in the right place. This channel names the site, the layer, and the date every time. Now entry 2, Spy Cave, Belgium, around 40,000 years ago. In Neanderthal calculus there, mushroom, pine nut, and moss. A forager's mouth rebuilt molecule by molecule. Entry 3, El Cidrón, Spain, roughly 49,000 years ago. And here it gets strange. Yarrow, chamomile, bitter plants with no food value at all, plus poplar, carrying salicylic acid, the aspirin compound. Those plants should not be in a mouth that eats for calories. 2 readings sit on the table for why they are. Both change who these people were. Here's how those 2 readings settle, at least for now. They don't. Self-medication, or a swallow from a herbivore's gut. The plaque can't tell you which, but keep the idea that the mouth is a record, because the next teeth make it undeniable. Entry 4, Kibara Cave, Israel, roughly 60,000 years ago. In the hearth, charred legume seeds and grasses, ringed in ash, and in the teeth of the people who sat around it, residues of the same plants. Cooking, confirmed twice over, once in the fire, once in the mouth. Entry 5, Grotta Paglici, Italy, about 32,000 years ago. Oat starch, crushed on a flat grinding stone and heat-treated before eating. Ground grain, worked into something bread-like, 30,000 years before anyone farmed a field. Entry 6, Dolny Věstonice, Moravia, around 30,000 years ago. Starch and plant tissue sit in the tartar, right beside the mammoth rib bones on frozen ground. A broad wild plant diet. Not the meat-only picture people carry in their heads. Entry 7, the heaviest one. Ohala 2, Israel, about 23,000 years ago. On a grinding slab, residues of wild wheat and barley, and the seeds themselves, scattered across the stone. Routine grain processing, long before agriculture existed. Before the next entry, stop for a second. What you just heard only makes sense next to the dating and the site plan. I put the sites, layers, and published analyses into a written document, linked below, QR on your screen. Grab it and come back. So, if they were grinding grain that early, was the meat-only ancestor ever real? Everyone pictures Neanderthals starving on cold steppe meat. Entry 8 takes that picture apart. El Mirón and other caves across northern Iberia. Cooked plant starches, sitting quietly in the plaque of animals we swore ate only meat. So the whole picture flips. The diet came first, and our idea of these people had to bend to fit it, not the other way around. They cooked, they gathered, they ate plants, steadily, on purpose. Entry 9, Blombos and Clayses River, South Africa, deep in the Middle Stone Age. Here the residues point to shellfish pulled from the tide and set on the coals, and geophytes, roots dug straight out of the ground and roasted. Someone knew which plant hid food underground, dug it up, and cooked it before eating. That knowledge is in the teeth too. Entry 10, the strangest, and I held it for last. El Cidrón again. Only this time, the speck of tartar gave up something more than a meal. It held DNA, not of the food, but of the microbes and pathogens living in that mouth. From one crumb of a last meal, trapped in a tooth, dated, researchers read both the dinner and the diner. And some of those individuals ate almost no meat at all. So stand back and look at them. They ground grain. They cooked. They chose bitter medicine plants. They knew their landscape's roots and seeds, not brutes gnawing carcasses. People. A mouth is a record. It kept a last meal safe for 50,000 years and handed it to us intact. Tell me which of these 10 was hardest to believe. I read the comments. And the next meal we reconstruct is already waiting for you on screen.